How's it going, guys? This is John. Welcome to my 3D channel. If you can watch this in 3D using the red blue glasses, or you can just switch it to 2D. This is a recap over my visit to the Pinball Hall of Fame in Las Vegas. This is off Tropicana, about east of the main strip. It's definitely a long walk if you decide to walk from the strip, but it's definitely doable. They have over 250 machines in this place. It's unbelievable. On the right, they have a whole bunch of arcades. We just passed Mario Versus, there's Space Invaders, Tetris. Most of these machines actually are running. Every once in a while, there are a few machines that they're under repair. It just happens with machines like this. There's elevator action. But as I'm showing you right now, these are the arcades, but majority, I'd say about 3/4 of the machines they have here are actually pinball machines. This is a designated museum. Everything's roughly a quarter to 50 cents to play. So there's no entrance fee, which is really cool. That's a super system. It's basically like a Play Choice 10. It's a Super Nintendo, stand-up Super Nintendo. It's kind of dark in here. This place is open till, I believe, 11 o'clock on the weekdays, which it's got extended hours. That's one thing I really love about Vegas, is everything's open either 24 hours or really late. And we've got pinball machines at this place from 1960 on to present day, which is amazing. Here's Punch Out, dual screen. It's an interesting game right there as well. This is Namco. This is kind of I don't know, propeller one where you're flying. It's kind of, here's where we're getting to the pinball machines. You got Mars Attacks. I'm just a big fan of pinball machines, and the interesting thing about pinball machines is they were actually illegal for 30 years in the United States. They actually they outlawed pinball machines because they consider them a form of gambling. There's Paperboy randomly inserted there between these pinball machines, but you know, they've obviously come back. They came back in the 70s, pretty popular in the 70s, and up until really the 90s, until like mid to late 90s is when really the fall of pinball machines really occurred. And today, really the only pinball manufacturer still left, still standing, is Stern, unfortunately. However, back in the day, you had Gottlieb, you had Sega was there, you had Stern, obviously was there as well. Bally Midway was a huge manufacturer of pinball machines. So there were just a ton, and there was a number of other machines as well, companies. There's Cruisin' Exotica at the very end of that. I really loved that game. It was a great port for the N64. This is an old school baseball game, which is really interesting. And you got Jokers, Jurassic Park, Data East. That's another manufacturer who made pinball machines. And these are the old school ones too. And even though they're kind of rudimentary in their design, they're still a lot of fun. There's Line Drive, another baseball kind of pinball machine. You have to hit it up that ramp there. That's Stargate by Gottlieb. And most pinball machines were actually made in Chicago. That's kind of the birthplace of pinball machines. And even though they were outlawed for 30 years, as I mentioned before, they still sold a lot in Europe and overseas. They're huge still there. There's Star Wars by Data East. A really fun one. Great sound effects. Is one thing about these pinball machines I absolutely love, are the sound effects are just a lot of fun. Williams. There's a Flintstones based on the movie. Some of the licenses are very awesome too for some of these companies. Got the Wizard. That one wasn't working there. Here's Track and Field. This is a cocktail track and field by Konami. And I've seen the stand-up one, but that's the first time I've ever seen the cocktail. And I've been to this Pinball Hall of Fame probably half a dozen times, and every time I go, there's always new machines. That wasn't there before, so it's always changing in and out stuff, which is really cool. There's Popeye. We just passed the Street Fighter one. Only briefly saw it, but it's a pretty cool one. And I think that was Addams Family. It's kind of hard to see. I know it's kind of dark, but Addams Family was the #1 selling pinball machine of all time. There's Waterworld. Actually, a terrible movie, but a really fun pinball. Black Knight. There's a Harley. There's a number of Harley ones made. Whodunit. Jurassic Park Lost World. That's by Sega, I believe. That version right there. And here's the line of just a whole bunch of modern Stern ones. So you got NASCAR, Spider-Man, 24, Shrek. That Shrek and Family Guy, this whole layout of both of them are identical. It's kind of funny. Same ramp, same everything. There's Pirates of the Caribbean. That thing's blinking, and he put LED lights in the back. Change it. There's Simpsons Party as well, which is a really fun one. Monopoly. There's another earlier Simpsons pinball machine they didn't have here, but I played before. Buck Hunter. That's actually signed by Stern, as you see there. It's pretty neat. Lord of the Rings. And here is Batman by Data East. I believe it's by Data East. And here's a newer Batman. This is by Stern. Batman Returns. Avatar. It's a fairly new one. Just came out last year with the recent release of the movie. Really fun one. The Rolling Stones. Iron Man. Here's Tron, the arcade game, which is a really fun movie and arcade. Here's the new Tron pinball machine. This wasn't here last time I was here. And this is the limited edition one. See the lights, the neon lights? That's a super limited edition run. I've seen this before without those lights, but this is the limited edition one. It's really cool that they had it. Really fast machine. They have a thing that spins in the very top and just makes the ball go really fast. This is a really interesting one, this orbiter. There's actually magnets, and it moves around the ball really kind of in a weird, awkward way, randomly. And it's kind of hard to play, to be honest with you, because you don't know where the ball's going. This is a circus one. This is actually a prototype, and it's hard to see, but there's actually different levels of it. You got 3 different stages of it, and it's shaped like almost like an arcade, and it's only 2 made in the world, and that's one of them there. It's pretty fascinating to play. There's Hubert by Gottlieb. Obviously, Gottlieb made Hubert for the arcade. That's probably their best known one. We just passed Superman, which is one of the few Atari pinball machines. It's a super wide body. Atari, they dabbled in making pinball machines, but they didn't really stick around very long. And Superman was one of the few that they actually made. Space Shuttle, Funhouse, a classic Williams one. Comet. And all these are kind of lined up by who makes these are all Williams one, and so they're kind of lined up by manufacturer. There's ice cold beer. It's really fun when you have to get the marbles and those holes and stuff. And there's certain scanners too. You can there's like images that you can scan on your smartphone. It will show you the history of that particular pinball machine, which is cool. Those like bars that you scan. It's kind of a nice thing that they add to it. This is an interesting racing game, old school one. And just a bunch of old pinball machines. We passed one earlier too that there's like a dual one. I didn't really get too much of it, but it's a 2-player one where you have to have 2 players play on each end, and it's really interesting. I've never really seen a 2-player pinball machine before. Here's one of my favorites. This is Star Trek Next Generation. I love the sound of this. I just love the ramps. One of my favorite. I'd love to get a hold of one of those someday, for sure. It's really good to see this place. Every time I've been here, there's always been a number of people here too. So this place is definitely a place to check out in Vegas. I'd much rather put my money into these pinball machines than put them into slots. I just have terrible luck at gambling as it is. I'd much rather put my money into something I enjoy. Or here's a Pop-A-Shot kind of deal. Well, that was a 2-player one on the end. And here, just more old school pinball machines. These are from the 60s and 70s. Still some great ones. They had like the first Stern one that was ever made. One of the first Gottlieb ones. One of the first ones with flippers. Pretty amazing collection. And this is the safe. This is kind of an interesting one where you have the safe and you have to unlock it. Here's some more arcade ones towards the left side of the building. This is a 10,000 square foot facility, so it's huge. That is a shooting one. This is a sit-down Star Trek. It wasn't working at this time. It was working before. It's a vector graphics. It came out in 1982 by Sega. You sit in this chair. You have the controllers by your hands. It's super awesome. There's Jagged's Lair we just passed, Venture. So it's really cool. They got some really rare ones. A lot of, you don't see that Star Trek one. I see the Star Wars more than that. This is Turtles, 4-player. Great Konami beat 'em up. Absolutely fantastic. Road Blaster and Frenzy by Stern. One of the few games by Stern. That's a Missile Command by Sega. And you notice it says Sega on there, which is interesting because it's actually was made by Atari. So that's actually a Japanese import, which is an interesting design. That's a Wacko, kind of a unique slanted arcade defender. This is a really fantastic place, guys. Next time you're in Vegas, definitely check it out. I'll put a link below. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you soon. Take care.